So today I want to be able to create this application for a food app so that you can be able to display the type of food that can be bought from a web application. So this is going to be just like a simple web app to show you the basic information of how to code in HTML, CSS. We're not going to touch on JavaScript, but we're going to later on in the future, as we progress with our series, to be able to see what we can be able to add JavaScript to our application. So today we'll just build a very simple application with this design, the way it looks like. So feel along to Tagger by so that you can finish this session together. So what you need, first you need to create a folder. So I'll right click, create a new folder, then I'll call it food app. We need to open this food app with our editor. I'll be using Visual Studio Code to code. So I'll open up my Visual Studio Code. Then I will navigate to files so that I can open a folder. I'll open a folder which is located on my desktop. Keep in mind that we're just dealing with the front end app. We're not going to deal with the back end yet, but in future we'll be able to do the backend application, integrate the backend application with our app. So you open this application, you select the folder, you open it inside your editor. You can use any editor of your choice. So what we need to do, we need to set up our structure of the project, how it's going to look like. So we're going to create a folder name called assets. The folder asset is going to hold all our CSS files. So we'll create another folder called CSS, and inside this assets again we'll create another folder called JS that will hold our JavaScript, which will not be doing right away yet, but we'll have it in the future. And then we'll have another folder called images that will be used to create our images, to store our images that we'll be using in our project. Once we're done, we go to the root folder. We create a file name called index.html. The index.html is going to be our landing page. We'll be able to create our information or all our code inside the index.html. So the first thing we're going to do, we need to be able to put the structure of the HTML. So it's much simpler when you're using Visual Studio Code because it comes with the built-in extensions that help you to code faster. So just write HTML5, you pick that one, it will give you the whole syntax of the HTML. We change the title from document to food app. Everything that will be coding inside the body will be displayed to our browser. So anything that you want to be displayed on our browser, we have to write it under the body tag elements. So what we're going to do, we're also going to comment on our code so that it can be easy for someone else to read and understand the code. First we need to put the structure of how our header file is going to look like. So we say that this is going to be our header, and then we also say that we end our header here. So when I use the 2 forward slashes, it means that we're going to end our header. Then inside I want to create a div section that will be for our header. So what I'm going to do, I just start with an asterisk, and then I say header, and then I say header, and I click enter. Automatically it creates for me the class name of the header section. Inside the header I want to put more children for the header. Now the header becomes the parent. Anything that resides inside the header becomes the children. And I want to put the image tag that is going to hold our logo. So we'll have to put the image tag img. We have to specify the source. So the source attribute that is going to hold our image, where it be coming from. We can put an alternative attribute just in case the image fails to load on the browser. It can be shown as the logo. So just say logo, and then we close that file. Afterwards, we want to create more children inside the header. Apart from the logo, we're going to have the navigation area for the links. So we'll be having navigation links. Since our header is going to be the parent, we need to have several children. Before we begin with the logo, here the way it is, we have to specify another section for our logo. So I'll just type .logo, and then now I put the image tag inside, so that this one is going to be our logo, and this will depict the end of logo, end of logo. Afterwards, we have to put our navigation. So this way we're going to put our navigation links. So just comment it, called navigation. This one is going to be end of navigation. Inside the navigation comments, we're going to put our class for the navigation. So going to call it links. And then we're going to use an ordered list tag. Then we also put because these one are going to be clickable links, so you have to use the a tag link. So you just write a tag, put the reference attribute, you can close, you can put the listing tags. First we can say this is going to be link to our home. We can just copy and paste like 4 times. This one is going to be our about. This one is going to be our login. Probably the last one is going to be our register. So the next step we'll be doing, first we'll need to be able to style this. So we can be doing the inline CSS. Sorry, not the inline CSS, but the external CSS. So we'll have to create a CSS link to our CSS app here. So we're going to do our external CSS styling. So we'll have to put our link to our CSS right on top of here. So we'll create our link, and our link is going to have of real type, is going to be style sheet. Style sheet. We should point to where our CSS is. So it's inside our folder called assets. Where does it keep on doing this? Assets. Inside our CSS. And then we'll call it style.css. And then we can end our file there. Right. So we should go inside our style.css and put that file. So we create that file called style.css. So we have to put the CSS extension to show that this is a cascading style sheet. And since we are already pointing to here, so anything will be styling, because we're going to be styling by class name. At some point we'll be styling using the tag element tags. So we're going to be calling our HTML class name inside the CSS. So we should start with the header, and this is how I like coding. I love watching what I'm doing. So basically I'll call the first of all I'll say header. This is where we start styling the header, then end of header. So to call the class name from a HTML, you have to use an asterisk. So you say dot. Now our class name was called header, and then you put the curly braces, and then now we start styling. And what we're going to be doing right now, we're going to style our header. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to see the structure of our header. So we're going to use the border, give it 2 pixels, make it solid, and give it a color so that you can be able to see it. So let's just write black. Now we save, we go to back to our browser, reload the page, you can see that our header starts from there. So we need to be able to style everything that's inside this header. Before we remove the border, we need to be able to style everything that is inside this header. The logo, the home, the about, the login, the sign up, they all should be looking fancy. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to, first of all, we're going to get ourselves a logo. And because this is a food app, we're going to go to our browser, and then I'm going to go to our website called pixabay.com. I think we can be able to get a good logo from them. And the Pixabay, also, I like getting logos that depict an icon. But let me see. Food delivery, for example. Food delivery. Let's see what they have for us. I hope they have nice pictures that we can be able to use. Wow, oh, yeah, they do have nice pictures. Like this menu here looks nice to me, but we can still get to see something that really depicts what we really need. Even this one can be our logo. We just want something simpler that can be able to use, not necessarily to be fancy or anything, because we are just doing a practice. If you feel like you want something that depicts more, then you can just choose something. So I want to pick something that looks much more nicer. But before I get to download from here, let me just show you another website that I use called flaticon.com. So here we can get icons instead of pictures. And then I have to search an icon, then I search food logo, for example. Let's see what they have in store for us. Right, so let's see. I hope my internet is not going to be that slow tonight. So I hope it will be friendly with me. Taking some time, but let's just be patient. Let me see what can. Well. I think here we have better icons. Food safety, chef. Let's see more. Vegan. I've already seen what I want out of these logos. Think I'll go with this one. This one looks much nicer, so I'll just click on it. Oh no, I didn't want to go to Adobe because I know this one can't be for free. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a simple logo for ourselves. Let's pick this one. Then I can be able to download this one. Just say free download. Once it has downloaded, oops, I forgot to make the lady not to stop crying. So show in folder, we have it here. So we're going to make sure that we copy to our assets, so where the images are. So I'll just drag it. It's easier to drag than to, so I'll drag it inside our images. Yes, there it is, and we have it. So we have our bag.png. We can rename it to our logo, to logo. So just call it logo.png. I like PNG file because they are easy to load on the browser, unlike JPEGs and JPG. So what we're going to do, when you come to your index file, you should be able now to map. So you just say, let me access assets, and I want to access the folder called images, and I want to access my logo.png. So when I save, and when you go to check on your browser, it will be very big. You see, you can be able to see it, but it's huge. So what you need to do, you have to give it more attributes. So we can do an inline attribute. So we can say like, let's give it a width of 50 pixels and a height of, again, 50 pixels, just to make it equal. You save, you go and reload on the browser. you can be able to see it's there. So what we're going to do, we have to align this our logo to look more fancier. So first of all, we need to be able to take the home, about, and the login to be on the same row with the logo, so that it doesn't show in a column format but rather a row. So what we'll be able to do, we use a property called display. So when I come here and I say display, because we're using flex boxes, I'll say display flex. By default, let me comment this one for you. Wait a minute. Where is it? By default, the flex, by default, the flex will show in a raw format. By default, flex is in raw format. So if you save, you go and reload, you'll be able to see that it's in raw format. And again, we need to make sure that they're in equal format, like they are distributed very well. So we'll have to use what we call justify content. So with justify content, it can help us to distribute into the remaining space. So if we say justify content and then we say space evenly or space around, we can use space evenly, space between, or space around. So let's use the space evenly. If you use space evenly, one will go to the other end. But space evenly is not what we want because it picks all. So what we do, we can say space. When you use space around, you just check what happens. That's what happens. But what we do, we use space between, so that they appear end to end, like that. So we're going to use the space between so that they appear end to end, the logo to be on its side and the links to be on their own side. And again, we are going to make this one also look more on the same line before we start styling everything up. So what we're going to do, we're going to call styling the navigation links. This is going to be end of styling the navigation links. Remember, you have to make sure that you're calling the correct class name, which is the links. So dot links, and then now we can be able to say display. First of all, it's good because you're not going to use we don't have rulers or anything. It's good to know where you're operating from. So border property is very important and it's very helpful. It helps you to know where you are and how to style all your elements. So solid black, the same, it doesn't hurt to repeat yourself, and you can be able to see that if you say that, you can be able to see where you are at. So this one helps you a lot. Even with the logo, you can be able to do the same. You come and say at the logo dot. So this is the logo. It's always good to comment your work. And then let me use my short forms, end of logo. And then I can say dot logo, so that we can be able to see what we're doing. Dot logo, and then I'll just use the same property so that later on we'll be able to delete all this one because we won't be needing them. So you can be able to see. So if you see that, now it tells you that we can be able to have some padding the space around elements, and we can come and tell our big guy, the header, that we need a padding of, let's say, around 20 pixels, so that we can have some spaces around the elements. That's how the padding looks like. So we should now be able to start styling, so because we have seen what we're able to do. So you come back to the links. The links, we want them to be able to appear in a raw format. So basically, if you go and check in our index.html, we have the links, but before the links we have an ordered list. So this unordered list is the one that we want to be able to access, because the unordered list is the child to the links, and this the links are the grandchild. So we first need to access the unordered list tag element, then we access these ones. So what we're going to do, you come back to the style.css, you say I need to tell the class called links that has an unordered list to be able to do me justice and tell all the children that are inside the unordered list to have a display of type flex. But this display of type flex, we need them to, we need them in a raw format. So we can just go and check, and you can be able to see that now we have it in a raw format. And again, we can put gap of 10 so that we can have a gap in between the two. We say 10 pixels, and we can be able to see that happening right away. You can be able to see there's a gap in between. So we want to do a lot of things. We need to remove all these dots from them. So what we're going to do, we'll come again and access each child. So we say we're accessing the links class, and we're accessing the unordered list, and we're accessing the a tag. And first of all, there's another thing we need to do, but let's first of all finish, and then we want to say list style type to be none, so that we don't have any dots there. Save, you come and reload, you find that they are gone. Also, we want to remove these underlines, because these are brought about by the links, so we can remove the underlines too. So we come and tell the, now this one will be here. We say we go to access links, the unordered list, and the a tag, and they say we text decoration none. So we don't want any decoration in our elements, so we say text decoration to none. You reload the page, you see that they are all gone. So we now need to be able to style this very properly, because these are going to be a good app for the beginners, so that each of us can be able to learn what you need to do when you're styling the front-end application and trying to build something of yourself. This is just for educational purposes, and people should be learning from them. So what we're going to be doing, now that we're done with that, we have our logo, and I feel like because we have our logo and the icon, we should give it like a title, just say food app or food delivery app. We go back to our index.html. we need to add another, we'll just do it from here. We say we're going to have a header, and then you can say food app, like that. Come and reload. You should be able to see it looks very quirky, so we need to put it in a row. And we'll go to our style.css, access the logo tag, the logo class here. Also give it display flex. The benefits of knowing how flex boxes work is that it helps you to scale a lot, and you can be able to see, and we can even be able to put a gap in between. You can say gap 10 pixels. Hope this one works. Yes, you can be able to see there's that. Also, we can try to see if you can make it to be at the center, but I don't know this one if it's going to work. Let's just test. So say .logo, and we are trying to access the header, so we'll call it by the tag elements. So, and then we say margin auto. If you've used display flex and you say margin auto, automatically it will center it, but I think I'm using it the wrong. Yep, I'm always right. So margin auto, it automatically centers it because it calculates the space around this element from all sides and put it at the center, so it gets the equal space around the element. So we have the food app there as our header. Now we can be able to get rid of all these borders, so that we can now make our app look more fancier, and we'll try to play with the colors so that the colors depict what we want. Since we're using this type of logo, I'll show you a trick of how you can be able to use this color without contradicting yourself. So what you're going to do, first of all, I need to understand if we need to. Now we're going to remove the color, but if you want to do that, there's a website I used. I don't know if I remember its name. You can just go to the browser. Yes, it's called Color Picker Image. Color Picker Online. This one. Just go and type imagecolorpicker.com. When you go to imagecolorpicker.com, you can be able to use your own image by browsing your machine. Since we already have that picture, you can just go and check in your downloads, the bag, then you open it. Once you open it, it will give you the variety of the colors that have been used. So we have all these colors we can be able to choose from. So I wonder if we should be able to use, so we can be able to go with the color that matches everything so that we don't contradict ourselves. This will help make our work easier, especially people who don't know which colors to choose and we love uniformity. So from here, we can be able to pick, let's say we decide to put this one as a background color. We can be able to do that. So you select on that, you can get the hexadecimal one. Yes, it's now good. We can get this one, just say copy, then you come, let's go back to our header and put our background color. Background color, then we paste that color. Save, come, reload the page. You should be able to see the background color. And now we can be able to remove the border. And instead we can put the border radius. So we can come and say border radius 10 pixels so that we can get some corners around our header. Yes, like that. Then we can be able to remove also this one for our logo. We remove the border too. Just comment out, just to remind you that you were using it to see where you are at. We remove it. Now we have the food up. Then we come to our links. Now we want our links, when we are able to hover, we can be able to see where we are hovering at. So we can put a hover so that we know what we are hovering at. So the hover, we just want the text to change. First of all, we have to give them a better color, and the better color for the green is going to be, we're going to manipulate this color. So instead of black, even the food up, we're not going to be using that color. So we have to match everything. So I think we'll go back here and we can get the darker one for our, then you can copy that, go back to our code. We are going to change our header color because we already defined it here. So you just write color. When you write color, it means this is going to be the color of the text there too. And then also for the links, we're going to do the same. At the links, I hope this is where it works, but the links are the one that we want. So we put it at the links. So we say color, then we paste that color. We have to reload and see if it's working for us. Yeah, it's not that faint. We can be able to see what's happening. And then we can also remove this border. So we just go and comment out at the links. So we don't need this one. So we'll just comment the whole of it. Save, go back, reload. Nice. So we want to be able to make sure that this one, when you hover on top of it, they can be able to be seen on what we are hovering on top of. So we go back. Now when you want to hover, let's copy, not even copy. We should develop the habit of typing, not copying and pasting all the time, because when you're typing, it helps you internalize what you're doing. So we write the hover, so that when you hover, we want to change the color. So the color of the text should change. Color, maybe now to black. We can now use black. We can use the 00 of the conch. And then we reload. And then we test. Now when you hover, you see. We can also put something like it underlines so that we know where we are. And that one, hover. We can use border bottom to be solid, and we can use not the brown color, but first of all, let's see how the black looks like. Reload. It doesn't happen the way I thought. Oh yeah, we forgot something. So we have to say solid, then you can just put it 1 pixel so that we know when you're hovering it appears there you go. So that's all we needed to do for that part. Now we can be able to see what we need. So we're not going to add anything here. I think that one we can work with. So we've been able to come up with our header. Now we want to be able to come up with our content, and I say that we're not going to do much. We're just going to create a page that can hold food items, and we can be able to add to cart. So we'll do the add to cart later, but now we're just designing the front end part of our design of what we need. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a place for the content, and inside that place we're going to have cards that are going to be holding the food items that we need. And also we should have a place whereby we can be able to navigate through the categories. You want to click on drinks, you can be able to get drinks. You want to click on beverages, you can be able to see the beverages. You want to click on all those kind. So we'll have like a small navigation inside the content area. So we need to be unique, because we are coding all this one from our heads, so we need to see what we can be able to do. So everything here is about creativity. So after the header, we now come and comment here and say content section. Then is going to be the end of content section, end of content section. And then we're going to give it a class. We can call it main, because it's going to be our main parent for every children that is going to be appearing inside. So it's going to be main, and we want to have two things. First of all, we get the navigation for categories. So I'll say categories, just call it category. Then this category, we're going to use the unordered list, and then since it's also going to be links to be able to be navigating us to wherever we want, we're just going to put the link tag again. The benefit of understanding the HTML syntax. Then we put our listing. Then we can say beverages. What type of food do we have? I'm almost forgetting. Beverages. Let's just call it food. I'm trying to remember what type of food we always having. We can say snacks. What else can we have? We can say snacks and maybe something else. We have food, snacks, beverages. What else do we eat? Oh, I'm forgetting. Sometimes I can be forgetful, but we'll remember along the way, and we'll add. You can put the type of food you remember or you like taking according to the food categories, you know. But it's always good to go on to the internet and Google. You say food categories, and internet will just show you food categories, and we can be able to see. Food categories. This one will bring us fruits, dairy, fish, hut. No, that's not what I was looking for. But let's continue. We have our beverages, those are like drinks, and then we have the food, which are like the main. We have snacks, and then we have like let's say pizza. Okay, now that's one of the child, so we have to put a comment, and then we'll say category navigation. And then this is going to be end of category navigation. navigation, all right. And then inside the main, we still now going to have a section whereby we're going to be having places where we'll be having our food cards. So here we'll say food items, end of food items, end of food items. And then we can give it a class, and then we can call it food item, food item. And then this food item is going to have several cards that are going to be holding our images and description of the food and a button to add to card. So we're going to create a card name, then we're going to say just call it food card, and inside food card we'll have a place for image. So we'll have a place for image, and yes, so we have, actually it will just be an image, img, not as img source. So we're getting it. Alternative, it will be food item. We'll put that later. So we'll have to download some few content, and then we're also going to have a place for description. So we'll have a class name, just call it description, or food description, food description, so that we can have a title. We can use h2, and we say let's say soda, just as an example. We'll make it more fancier, sooner. Then you have a paragraph, cold beverage drink, cold beverage drink. Yes. And then after that, outside, we're going to have another child that is going to be button. Just call it button, and then you can say add to cart, like that. Not add to cart, say order now. We're now talking about ordering food. Order now. Then you can save. We'll duplicate these ones later on, but first of all, let's just check what we have in. So you can see that we have those ones, and we need to make it more fancier. So we'll also be needing to download images that will be able to use in this app. So we go back to our code. We can be able to see that we have our place for food item, and inside the food item we have the image holder, image tag holder. We have our description area, food description, and then the button, order button. Yes, so we can save that and then we go back. Now remember that this part for the header is independent on its own, meaning it's the child to the body, and the body is the parent. And when you come to this other part of the content section, which is the main, it's also independent to the header. It's on its own. So which means it's the child to the body, which makes it to qualify to be the brother to the header. So when we start now coding, the main becomes the parent of everything that is inside this main category, and the food items, which are the two brothers and their children to the main category, to the main section. And again, these other ones, they're like just like grandchildren to the main, which are like the children to the category. So what we need to be able to do, we need to be able to style our main first. How do we want our main to look like? And this is how we want it to look like. The main, since it has the category and it has the food item, we don't want it to appear in a raw format, but rather in a column, just like the way it is right now. So we need to be able to put a border and see where we are at. So we go back to our style.css, scroll down. Now we begin our new journey. We say main section, then we say end of main section, and then inside now we call the class name, which was main, and then we need to say, give it a border first so that you can see where we are. Border, that color, let it be solid. You can put it at with a thickness of 2 pixels. So when you go and check from the browser, you should be able to see it. So basically it will tell you that we already have it touching this food app at the top, and we can separate it a little bit from the top. So that one we can be able to use what we call margin. Margin will give the space outside the element, not around the element. So we can say margin top, margin from the top, we want it to separate with 20 pixels. And then you can go and reload the page and you should be able to see that. You can be able to see that it has separated itself from the top, because we want to make it look more fancier, like a good app for ourselves. So what we're going to do, we want to be able to style the beverage navigation to be able to say like I want drink, I want food, I want snack, I want pizza. Yeah, we'll get better names as we progress. So what we're going to do here, since we are inside the main, now we want to access the navigation main. Let's remember how we called it. It's called food. It's called category. So we need to first style the category, this part, so that you can be able to see. So first of all, we go back to our style.css. We say dot category. So we call the class name dot category, and then let's give it a border first of all. Border solid 2 pixels, so that you can be able to see where you are at. Yes, you can be able to see that, meaning you should go back to the main and give it a padding so that you can be able to have some spacing and look more nicer. Let's say 20 pixel. It will apply to both this part and this part where we have the soda. So you reload the page, you can be able to see the padding, which is nice. And now we should be able to go and tell the category that we want you to display everything in a raw format. So use display flex, not inline. Let's use our because we are using flexbox. So display flex, reload the page. Pardon. Oh, I know why it's not working, because we are accessing the category, but we need to access this child called unordered list, so that you can be able to make all this to be displayed in a flex format. So we'll go back to our code, go back to our style.css, display flex, not there, cut this part, come below it. Yes, we are calling the category class and we're calling the unordered list, and we should be able to now say that like that. And then when you reload the page, you should be able to see it happening. Now here we can be able to say we want this justify content. Now here we can be able to say justify content, and then we can say space. Let's say space evenly. We see what happens. Yes, let's use the space evenly. Here we have nothing to lose, but we need to remove the text decoration. So we still going to access the category, unordered list, and the links, say text decoration to none. We don't want any text decoration. We also need to remove the lists. So first of all, we save. You want to see what happens. The underlines will go. Yes, and we also need to remove the dots. We also need to remove the dots. So we have to access the list tag. Just paste it there. Call it li. And then we say list style type. List style type to none. You go and reload the page. You should be able to see that. And then we want to be able to, when you hover, you can be able to see it changing. But first of all, let's give our background some color. I don't know what type of color. I think this time we're going to give it brown, because we want it uniform, and we can remain with the white background because we already putting so much color. We don't want to have like it conspicuous in a way that we can't even be able to see what we are doing. So we'll go back to our browser, go back to our image color picker, and we'll just play around with the brown, but this time we get the lighter one, the lighter version. We get the lighter version, copy it. Yes, copy it to clipboard. All right, we go to our category, border, we say background color, and then we paste our color there. We should be able to see what's happening. Nice, we have our color there. So we can also be able to give it a border radius, because we already started with the border radius. We should be able to give it a border radius. We say border radius to be 20 pixels. Yes, that's more like it. And then we can be able to remove now the border. So we just comment out this one, because we already know what we are doing and where we are at. Oh my god, oh my god. So if I remove the border to be solid, so again maybe I can give it a height of, let's say, 30 pixels. Should be able to see it. I hope it's not that big. Not really. I think that doesn't work for me. Let's give it 60. All right, now 60 is fine, but we need to make sure that these links, they are where we want them to be. Something I'm forgetting. This is display flex. Let me see, margin auto, but it won't go where I want it to go. All right, then you can say margin from the top at least to come down. Since we haven't used display flex inside the category, we need to be able to move this one a little bit. So we can say margin top, margin from the top. Since the height is 30 pixels, 60 pixels, let me see if I put 30 pixels, if it will go where I want it to go. Not that part. No. I want it in the middle. Border radius 20 pixel, height 60 pixel. Let me check this one. Margin top. Yeah, this one will work for us. So we have to reduce our margin top to 25 pixel. We still have margin auto. Again, 20 pixel. This is how you learn to code. And there we go. At least it's somewhere we can be able to see that it's uniform. And category is fine. These other places are also fine. Text decoration none. Yeah, cool. So we can work with this one. The padding, category has a padding of, not the category but the main has a padding of 20 pixel. So we need to clear the padding top to be a little bit less. So this is, when you say padding 20 pixel, it applies to all four corners, padding top, left, right and bottom. So now when I put 2, like let's say I put here 10 pixels, this will mean the first 20 pixel padding top and bottom, this is in padding left and right. But I don't want that. I just want padding top. Now the padding top should be that, and then this one should be 20. And then you can save this one. You can be able to see. Yeah, at least there it goes. So what we need to do next, we need to be able to when you hover these links, they should also change the color. So right now we should be able to give them some good color. Probably we can give them now, which color? The green one, because we want uniformity, yes, but we shouldn't like overuse the colors too. So what we're going to do, okay, let's try that green. We go back. This one seems to be blending in well. So I told you we'll be using these colors more often. At least we don't have to ask ourselves, where should we get the colors from? So this one, I'll give them color. And then I can paste that color over there. I hope it is not going to disappear. Oh, that's too faint. Can't even be able to see it. So we need a conquer one. Basic, let's try out this one. Probably this one will be much more brighter. Remove one of these, else it will give you an error. No, that's too faint. What happens if you put now white? Let's just put a very bright white color. Yeah, will work for us. Or basically you can just work with black. I think black will go well. Yeah, we'll work with black. Black will go well. So let's make it, when we hover, we can be able to change. So when you hover, we can be able to change. We can just copy this one, paste it below, and then say hover. You can just change the color. We don't have to change much. The color can change to white or Alice blue. Alice blue is another color. And then we can say border bottom so that it can be able to underline. It can be able to be black, and it can be solid, and it can be 2 pixels. So if you reload the page, you should be able to see that. Yes, yes, yes. Now we are able, we have our navigation for the food categories that we should be able to click. It will be giving you, if you want beverages, it will be giving you beverage. If you want something else, like that. So let's go down to our food item so that you can have an image and duplicate those images so that you can be able to see our simple app, how it will be operating for us. Right. Category. Now I've remembered something. Since our here, let's give it a display of flex, and the flex direction should be column. The way it is, it won't change, but it will help somewhere else. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now this is what I wanted, so that when I come to these beverages, I should give them a margin of auto. So this one, if I say margin auto, and then let's first of all comment out this one, because these are the one that we were using, and then reload. Yes, goes in the middle. And then now we can now put our justify content, space evenly, or we put gap. So gap. Now here, so we say margin. Let me see if gap will work. I doubt. See, since we are using the flex and then margin auto, because now we can be able to get them at the center, then they evenly, so we need to put some spacing in between, so the justify content won't be able to work here for them, because we have the margin auto. But now margin auto top and bottom, that's what I wanted. But when it comes to left and right, we should give them some spacing, give them some room to breathe. Let's see how 40 pixel works for us. Oh, perfect. Nice. So we don't need this gap here. It doesn't work for us. It doesn't work like that. but margin auto applies both margin top and margin bottom, but margin 40 pixel, margin left and margin right will work for us. So you can have it like that to see the spacing that is evenly. And then since we have our category as I hope it's not the category that we are dealing with. Come on, I must. Yeah, I placed the category to be like that, and it worked, yes, but it's not what I wanted. I meant the the display flex was supposed to go here. Also in the main, since category has only one child, it's not going to affect, but we can work with it like that because we need it to be designed that way. So I can also have this one for both the food item and the, yes, for both the food item and the category, so that I can say we should have a gap in between, and you should see some changes when I say gap and I say 20 pixel, so that the main will put a gap between the category and the food item. Yeah, you can see that we have a space here. So now we can be able to continue with our journey and code to finish this front-end design. Now we need to be able to design our food item. So we'll come to our food item and start styling it. So we come and say dot food item, and then we can just give it a border to see where we are at. Border solid, then 2 pixels for the thickness. Now let's see where we are at. Nice, we are there. So from here is where the real job is going to be, because we need to showcase whatever item we do have. So we need to also have an image, and then we need to also make sure that we have several cards. So in this food item, the way we're going to do it, we're going to give it a padding 10 pixel. Come and reload the page. Yes, and then we also, since this is what we want, we need to be able to see our food card. So we go to our food card, that's what we'll be styling. So we're going to call the food card, and then give it a border. We need to know where we are. 2 pixel, reload. You can see where we are. So we need to give it also a width, because we're going to have several food cards, not just one. So we're going to get like some images from the internet, so that we can be able to continue and have something to showcase. So first of all, let's give this one also a padding. We like being uniform, just 20 pixels is enough for us. Yes, you'll see the changes that are happening, and you'll be glad that they are happening. So let's go and get some images for the food. So we had gone to Pixabay. Ooh. So we can get like images like pizzas, but we don't want pizza. And let's search for fries. I know ladies love eating fries, and I need a good picture for the fries. Yummy. I'm even feeling hungry. Here, let me get this one. Let me get this one. You want to tell me I have to save us? Don't I have to click and then say free download? Yes, we can get this one. So let's get this image first. We can get this one. Download. I'm not always a robot. This computer they always want to know, are you a robot? So they want to differentiate themselves from us humans. So we need the traffic lights. So if we humans are the one who invented the traffic lights, how will you not know these are traffic lights? But basically, like, we're teaching it how to identify items. So verify, good, download. Thank you. And there it goes. We go to show in folder. There I have it. Okay, it hasn't reflected yet, but I can be able to do it again. Show in our folder, and there you go. I need to rename it. Then let me just say fries. Okay, and then I should be able to drag and drop it inside my folder. So I'll just minimize this one. Then I'll come and carry it to my images. There you go. Then I expand, go back to my index.html, go to where my image source is. So I'll tell it I want to access assets, and inside assets I want to access images, and I want what we call the fries. Save, go back to the browser, reload. It will be big. Woo, that's too huge. Can't even swallow it. So my screen cannot swallow that alone. So I'll have to come and give it some attributes. Say width, let's say 100 pixel for now, because I know I'm going to change later. And then the height should be something like 60 pixel. And then let's check if it aligns to what we want. Poop, and there you go. All right. So basically what we need to do, we need to understand where we are at. I need to minimize the length of this, the length of the food card, because we're going to have several food cards. So what we're going to do, go back to the style, food card, and then I want to give it width. 300 pixels should be enough. Let me see where it reaches. There. So 300 pixel, that's another huge one. So let me give it 200 pixels. 200 pixels. So that, nice, I want it like that. And then I come and tell myself that I want my image inside the food card. I want to access image. I want to try something, see if it will work. Programming sometimes is all about trying. Image tag, and I want to say width, and then I say inherit from the parent, and then height, let it be 60 pixels. Then I come back to my index, I remove the attributes. I want to see what will happen. Come and reload the page. Perfect. That's what I wanted. So it has inherited the width of the parent, so that it looks like that, and then the height is going to be the way you see it. So we're still not done, because we need to design that card to look a little bit more fancier, and we remove all the border area, all the borders, so that we can have something. So what we're going to be doing, you go back. Now we need to design the food card. So the food card, I think I'll give it a color, a background color. So I'll go to the food card here. Instead of the border, I remove the border, but I give it a background color. Background color. So we go back to our website, and we are going to check a greener one. I think this one should work better. And then I come and paste it here. Save, go to the browser, reload, boom, you have it there. Nice. And then I'm going to give it some border radius to look like more like a card or a section. So I'll say border radius. Then I can say 30 pixels, maybe to add more corners. And there you go. Now we need to design the place for the soda and the description and the button, so that we can have it looking nice. So since we are inside the card, we need to tell the food card that we want it as a display. I have a feeling of what I want to achieve. I want them to be display row. So I'll say display flex. Let's see our content where it can reach us. And you come and view, poop, there you go. But now when you do like this, it's going to bring more problems. But we can work with that. I don't know it will fit. Nah. So we go to flex direction, column. Let's have it the way it was. But there's a reason as to why I wanted it like that. So that I can come and tell that all the children of the food card should be centered. Because I don't want to access, oh, it's only the image, blah, blah, blah. I come here and then I say all. When I put it like this, I mean all the children inside should be centered. I say margin auto. The benefit of using flex, margin auto. So let's see. Pop. There you go. Not bad, but we're going to come where we want it to be. I don't think we want it like that. It will look bad, and I don't want it to look bad. Control Z to undo everything. Just reload it. Let it be like that for now. That's the benefit of using the display flex boxes. It makes everything adjust to the to the containers. Let's go back to our index and let's have something that looks like I need to put some separation between the full descriptions. Oh, there's a reason as to why it appeared like that. Now I understand what I had done. Under the description, full description, we need to make it look a little bit more fancier again. So what we're going to do, first of all, let me put a horizontal line to see if I can get the difference. It's there, but it's blurry, so I don't need it because of the color. Right. Let's get to design the full description then. Come back to the style, call it, there you go. Full description, color should be just white. Color should be just white. Let's see where we are with the border. Let me just copy this one to move more fast. Reload. There is where we are at. So what we'll need to do, let's put some margin top 10px. Nice. I want to put some more color for uniformity. Background color. I'll put background color definitely, and then change the color. Background color, I think it was this one, and then this one will be black. I just want to see if I'm getting what I want. Then what if we remove the border? And then you can do the padding or text align center. Yes, that's how I wanted it. Text align center. I want to do something else and I don't know if it's going to work. Some separation with an horizontal line. Exactly. And then we need to make sure that it doesn't have much space. So let me see, did I put margin top 10 pixels, padding. I want to remove padding. Padding top to 0. I want to remove padding top. Okay, it doesn't work because there's no padding inside. But we can work with that. First of all, let's see the border radius. To look funny. Don't want it that huge. Probably that one can work. Then we need to put some gap between the food card so that we can have the button also looking much nicer. There you go. Right. So we forgot to put the pricing so that we can say that this is a soda, cold beverage drink, the price is blah blah blah. Then you click order now, things like that. So we go back to our index.html. Here we can put another paragraph, and then we can just put some, let's say 300 Kenya shillings. That's how much it goes for. Yes, the pricing. And then we can style our order now button. So I'm very sure I'll change the background color of this. That one I'm very sure of that. Instead of having it as a background color, we can have it the color. So go back to style, we go to the food card, we put the solid like that, and then we copy this color, and then we remove it, and then it's going to be there like that. So we can just go and view it there. I think this one will work for us. And then I want to change the color of this one because I didn't want to overuse. Sometimes when you design it, you don't want to overuse the colors, and you don't want the colors to be too conspicuous. So we're going to style the button, which is already inside the food card. So we have to access the food card before we style it. So dot food card button shoop. Okay, let's put some padding for this button. Padding 10 pixels. Let's see how it looks like. Right, there you go. Our button is coming up. So we can tell our background color for this button to be whatever we have been using, and then we can come check, shoop, there you go. Think we're getting there. Let's give it some border radius. I think we are overusing the border radius, but it looks nice to me when I use it. I want it to be more ovalish, so I'll add, even that one is much better. Yes. So what I'm going to do, I want to say cursor to be pointer. Whenever I'm hovering, it will be pointing, because now you see it's just like a, and then yes, you get that hand. And then you can change the color from green to probably white or transparent. So when you hover the button, copy that, paste it below here, then right hover. So when you hover, we need to be able to change the background color to white. Should be changed to white, but we're going to have a border which is solid and should be the same color. This one. Don't forget to put the hexadecimal, the hexa symbol. And then we can put it, the thickness to be maybe 2 pixels. Let's go and check. Yes, when you hover, it changes. So we're going to duplicate these ones to have several of them, items, so that we know where we are standing at. And we're going to be removing some border radiuses, because not all of them we're going to be needing. We just needed to understand where our children, our parents are. Sorry. Go back to index.html, copy the food card. So this is going to be first food card, and then the end of first food card is going to be here, end of first food card. So copy this one the way it is, paste it there. Then this is going to be second food card. Let's paste like 3 of them. End of second food card. And then you're going to have another one, third. So you can have a third food card. We can even have like 6 of them, but first of all, let's see how this one will be appearing, then before we proceed. End of third food card. Save, go and reload. Basically we do have them, but they're coming in column, so meaning our section here is in display, not this, maybe it's not the way we want it. So we have to check the food card, not the food card, but the food item. So we check how we style the food item. Just scroll up. Okay, we need now to say display flex, so that they all become in row. Flex, save, go check. There you go. Now when you say display flex, now we need to give it some gap. First we say justify. We need them justify content, display flex flow. There's something called flex wrap, and then you say wrap, so that when it reaches at the corner, they go down. Okay, since we don't have many of those, but we need to give it some gap, so I say gap. Before we say gap, let's try our justify content, and then we say space between, space evenly. Let's see. There you go. We can work with this space evenly. So what happens if we do add more? What happens if we do add more? pictures with the space evenly. But space around is what, space, not space around, but space between, because I don't want them to just appear at the center. I want them to start from the end. Yes, like that. Right, this is how I want it to be, but this space will be too huge. First of all, I need to test more on this, how this is going to be looking like, but we can be working with this one first, space evenly. We can now go and remove the border, food item, comment out the border, save, go back to the browser, reload, it's gone. And then we can also, we don't remove, but we need to see how we can do, we don't need to have like such huge gaps, so we need to solve that problem right away. Let's figure out. First of all, let's add more items on the food cards. So just copy like the whole of this will be changing. We need to have like several, end of third up to there. Copy, come paste it. We also need to comment very well, end of third food card. So this one is going to be fourth, end of fourth, now end of, then this is going to be fifth, you need to be very keen when you're coding so that you don't miss out something. Then is going to be sixth, so that we have several. Save, go back, reload, perfect. Now I understand when you use the space between. So when you add more, but what happens is we need to be able to see them just a few, like if we would have been using grid, it would have been easier to see what we need to do and what we need not to do. So we need to only have like so instead of saying space evenly, I'll come back to the style, flex wrap. Flex wrap is working now, but we don't need to say that. First, let's see. Remains, yeah, but we need to put a gap. Space around. Oh, no. Order. This order flex one. There's something I need to go and confirm from the internet to be able to see if I'm getting it right. So there's a website called Flexboxes that I use, and I want to go and confirm something. CSS tricks. So I want to see how to order items. So it's good that we understand how items are being ordered. So properties for children flex items. This is the site I use if I want to design my program to look very nice. So no flex wrap, flex grow, flex shrink, flex basis, flex flow, justify content, between, space around, space evenly, flex. This is I needed this flex. Align flex start items. Now there's an example I need to go and check. Right, so I'll go straight to the not that part. There's this part I need to confirm myself with before I proceed. it's always good to understand what you're doing. Now, I think I've got it. I think I did get it. Well, we'll have to stick around with flex space around. In my next tutorial, I'll be able to explain to you how to work with flex boxes. So instead of using, let's go back and check. Right. So this is when you're using what we call the flex, but I don't want to use that. Space evenly, space between. Yeah, let's see. The space between comes out like that. Let's put some gap. Gap 30 pixels. There you go. Funny how it appears. So now, since we are able to use justify content space between, instead it's not a must we use the justify content here. So we can get rid of the justify content, and as you can see, if you reload the page, you can get something like this. But basically we need it to be uniform. Like, we don't need this space here, and we need to make it a little bit more presentable since we're having extra. So we need to go and say, maybe we can go at the food card, so that each food card has a space. We can give it a margin from the left side to be like, let's say 38 pixels, because I'm sure that one will add up very well. So when I reload, I can see that I have 38 pixels. So I can add like 2 more items so that we can have 444 on each. So I can go and add like 2 more items to have it more uniform. So I go back to my index page, and I need to copy just 2. So let me copy the 5th and the 6th. The benefit of commenting is that it helps you know where you are. Okay, so 5th food card. Now this one is going to be 7th, end of 7th, and 8th. 8th food card, and the end of that. Poop, poop. So if I save, I should be able to see them like that. So I have like extra. And as you guys can see, we have been able to come up with a front-end design of our food app. So we're going to delete the border radius of the main guy, but we can also come up with a footer for ourselves. So the footer can be talking for, we can have it will be having our about and everything. So we can go and have a footer section, which can give it like a different color or anything. So let's go back and finish up with the footer. So this is the content section instead. Let me see our main. We can put the footer inside the main, or we can put it outside. I like them being independent. So probably I'll come here and say footer section. Then I say end of footer section. And then I'll say, give it a class name of footer. And then inside the footer, we're going to have 3 things actually. Let's say a place for about us. So we can have like a about. Then the about will have like some paragraph, some heading, H1. We can say about food app, about food app. And then we can have a paragraph just saying that we offer all variety of food to our esteemed customer. To our esteemed customers. Below that one, we can also have a section for contact us. So this one is for about, so we need to comment it. This is the about, end of about. And we can have the contact us. Then this one is going to be the end of contact us. End of contact us. End of contact us. So contact us. So we'll have a form for this part. Contact. Then inside here we're going to have a form with some input. So we'll have input. Then you can say placeholder. This will be like your email. And then we're going to have a text area. Can give it some width later on. I think those two are enough. So if you go and reload the page, you have that section down there, and we need to style it up very well so that we can end it. And then we're going to have it a different color, probably black. It's always good for the footer, for me personally. So yes, I'll go back to my styling so that you can wind up with the footer section. Then I can say end of footer section. So I call the footer class. And then I give it a border again. Our norm, solid 2 pixels. Save it. There you see. We don't have to give it a padding or anything. We have to give it a padding for the items that are inline. So 20 pixels is enough. Save this section. Right. We give it a color. We want them to be white because we want the background to be black. So we give it our white, or Alice blue is the best. Then we can give it a background color of now black. Then we get rid of this border. Okay. Let's see. Nice. All right. Then what we do, we need to display flex so that it can appear in raw format. Display flex, and then justify content. Space between, like that. We can check, pop. We have it the way we want it. Then we can now style our form for the contact us. So we can go back to our index. First of all, we need to give let's give it a heading here. Then let's say H1, say reach us. Go back, reload. There you go. And we need now to make sure that we have a very fancy form where someone can be able to reach us. We will also be having a button, so we can use an input, then say type of submit or button. Then you can give it value, say send, and then we can close that, save. This one you can give it a width, think I'll have to do some inheritance. So we want this one to be, we want to style the form. Go back to style, access the form. So dot contact, and then we want the form, actually the one that we are much interested in. Then we say display flex direction column, save, go back, reload. There you go. We're starting to come to our justification. So I need to give it some width. First of all, let me see with this where we are. So border, now this time I'm going to use white, solid, 2 pixels. And then I want to give this form a width of 400 pixels, so that it doesn't look that small. There you go. Then I can put some padding in between. I mean the gap, not padding. So I just say gap 10 pixels. There we have it. And then what else do we need? I think we need to now specify this other side. I think I need to give it some padding, 20 pixel. I want to see some spacing in between. There you go. Nice. And then now we go and style the inputs. So we need to style the input and the text area. So first of all, let me start with the input. So the input, then I say, first of all, let me put padding because I know it will give me space that I want, 20 pixel. There you go. For the input, we'll come to discuss on the button later on, and also this one, 20 pixels seems like it's huge. So let me give it 15. There you go. Now I want to be able to let me go and style the text area. Oops. Text area, I can give it some inline. So I can just go to the inline and say that I want a height. I wrote it wrong. Height equals to 60 pixels. Go back and reload. Oh, never changed. We're going to fix that in a few. So let's see what we can be able to do. First of all, so we wanted to increase the text area size. So we're going to put row so that can be able to increase the height. You can put like 5. So when you save, you go and reload the page. You should be able to, wait, did I put it properly? I had put it before rows. Oh, sorry. Yes. So it's supposed to be rows, not row. I had put it singular. So and there we have it. So basically we are done with styling our front end. So what we need to do, just get rid of this one thing. Instead of saying border, let's give it border top, so that we can only have it at the top. And then we go to the main and remove that border to at the main. Yes, here, just comment it out, save, go and reload the page, and there we have it. So we are done with our design of our front end. So in our next session, we'll be able to make it more interactive by connecting with the database. We'll create login and sign up form later on. So today, this is what we have been able to do. We have duplicate pictures, but we can always use your own pictures that you need. Eventually I'll be posting the complete of this application on my GitHub account, so that you can be able to I can be able to share the source code, and one can be able to learn from it. Thank you so much for giving me the attention to finish this session.